Hi everyone, my name is Muddy Folktales, and I have a topic for you today called By the Blood of the Buffalo, Blood Sacrifices and Faith Work. Starter question. When you hear the phrase blood sacrifice, what is your gut reaction? What do you think about? What comes to mind? When I was in university, for one of my psychology classes, one of our assignments was to debate a topic in front of the class. We were in groups of four, but we got divided into pairs. Like one pair was the pro, and one side was the con, or one side was the yes, and one side was the no. We had to argue our topic in front of the class. My group was assigned the topic or the question, should religious animal sacrifice be legal in the USA? And my pair was assigned the yes position. So we had to argue that yes, it should be legal. My side won. They won by applause. People had to clap or put their hands up for which side they thought did a better job debating their point. Several weeks ago, I attended a Nepali religious festival celebration as a guest. It was a Nepali-Hindu Nawari thing. It was very local to the local folks in that area, but it was part of a larger Hinduism complex. Think of it like a tribal regional denomination event. It was very entertaining. It was very fun. There were a lot of people and a lot of pretty attires. People were taking photographs. People were sitting down, standing up, clapping. Like it was an actual festival. There were musical performances. Like people were wearing very specific imported masks, and they were dancing, and like it was fun. They were reenacting a local folktale, like the feats of a deity over these certain like demons and other creatures. We were there throughout the day. There were various interludes, and like I said, we were having a good time. Everything was cool until a buffalo was brought out. The buffalo that you see if you're watching like the video and see the image, or if you're reading this posted on my website. At that moment, the event stopped being just entertainment for me. It got real. Even though we were all having a good time and enjoying the performances, some god or power somewhere out there was receiving real blood energy. Before I continue, here's what I call a literature cross-reference interlude. Nothing But the Blood is a common hymn I heard growing up, and still I like listening to different versions of it now. Some of the lyrics are, what can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. His blood will cover you. His blood is forgiving. His blood will heal you. His blood will keep you. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. These lyrics come specifically from the Thomas Whitfield 1980s Black Gospel version. If you're looking on my website, I posted a link to it so you can go watch and listen to a performance of it. Now I have an excerpt from the book Demons of Magick, 3 Practical Rituals for Working with the 72 Demons by Gordon Winterfield, and it's published through the Gallery of Magick. We now come to the issue of offerings, bargains, and deals made with the demons. While animal sacrifice and offerings of blood and meat, or actions of cruelty, have been used to energize magic, it is fair to say that these approaches are primitive and less effective than what I propose. More harmonious alternatives have been found that produce more effective results. The spirits need your human experience of the offering in order to feed on it. If you eat food and offer that experience to the demon will feed on your experience. Eating one fresh apple as a gift to a demon is 1,000 times more effective. To believe demons only want blood and flesh is to fall for the tricks of Hollywood. Central experience is what they seek. They will also accept a personal sacrifice from you, where you suffer to some small extent, and they will accept the offering of fame. That is, if you spread the word of their deeds and say how well they work in the world, the demons will feel justly rewarded. So demons will accept offerings of pain, pleasure, and praise. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So my message, my thoughts. I believe it's worth understanding blood sacrifices as human emotions in the human lived experience. Winterfield's understanding of blood in the occult way helped me understand religion a whole lot more and from a different angle. We humans are sharing our lived experiences, and the power or the powers are eating it and feeding off of it as they share what they do with us. There are other dilemmas concerning animal sacrifice Nepali people would touch on that wasn't necessarily about that animal itself, but I think really important in a religious or faith and magical perspective, such as how much is too much sacrifice? What do you do if your God isn't responding to the animal sacrifices? And how much money does one spend and invest on sacrifices to gods to determine what they want before you know if your prayer is answered? Basically, how broke do I go before I get my prayer answered? I know of a person who converted to Christianity because of those questions. Christian God healed a life-threatening illness for this person after they abandoned or left Hinduism, after they had did quite a few animal sacrifices with no results, and the doctors had given up on them, saying that they were probably going to die. For them, this healed person said that Christian God doesn't require human, animal, or blood sacrifices. He just requires prayer. About that, what do you think? Well, I think blood sacrifices can look like a lot of things. My family and faith background would call the Nepali wrong for doing blood sacrifices because Jesus, his death, him being the lamb, he was the final blood sacrifice. His human divine blood literally spills throughout the ages. It covers, it keeps, and it still appeases the God power who is also himself. He sacrificed himself, his blood, to save humans. Well, I don't believe this power or this God is sustained by his blood alone. In my experience, he feeds on blood sacrifices too. Ongoing blood sacrifices, as in ongoing human emotions and lived experiences, just like any other demon, power, or deity out there. We just don't give him actual blood anymore. He, or we, or me, back when I was only a Christian, we shifted from animal blood sacrifices to like human emotional blood sacrifices. We give our body by suffering. We do things to die without actually dying. And this God, or demon God, eats the pain that we experience, and he eats the praise that we give him in worship. It was once phrased to me that the long suffering of his children is a sweet fragrance unto him. I'm serious, someone really told me that. But really told me that. Another example is one day, like a couple of years ago, my sister and I were going down like a YouTube rabbit hole watching like Christian R&B and parody music videos because of it's kind of a running joke that like cool Christian music is always lame. There's never no cool Christian rap. There's never no cool Christian R&B. So young people are always like, this is boring. Well, we found, or she had found, like some Christian R&B artists, and it was supposed to be a funny video, and it was funny. We were laughing. The song was catchy, and the people who made it were actually having like a good time. You know, it was kind of a bop. So we scrolled down to the comments under the video, and my God, there were so many negative responses and comments from super saints or die-hard Christians. One of the comments I clearly remember saying, following God shouldn't feel good. Like, what? Like, it's wrong to have music, Christian music, that can be funny or pull something out of you in a different way. Wow. And both of these statements were made by Black people. You could tell by the avatar, and the other person told me in person. And if you don't know, my cultural background is Black American. I'm not sure how to phrase it, but growing up, the Black church and the white church sacrificed themselves similarly but differently. The human sacrifice or the human blood, I guess, I don't know how to put it. Well, I won't tarry long on that because that's not the focus of today. If you want to dwell on that more, here is a Black American wisdom tale I read in a book a little while ago, and you can dwell on it. When God created Black people and white people, he gave them bags. Them bags were the survival kits for making it on Earth. Black people got a big old bag while white folks got a little bitty itty bitty bag. When Black folks opened their bag, they saw that they got shovels, hoes, rakes, work boots, buckets, plows. When white folks opened their bags, they saw they got a pen and paper. That folktale was from the 1960s, and it's probably older than that. And I don't think it's entirely accurate generalization anymore. Moreover, white and Black can look like so many different shades of gray. Try not to get stuck in the mud there. What's important is the focus is blood sacrifices to gods or demons aren't limited to actual blood on an altar. I hope you don't think that I'm against blood sacrifices. Blood sacrifices to gods or demons because I'm not. I'm definitely not. Because blood sacrifices are effective. They're really effective. Using blood, literal or emotional, it's powerful. Nothing but the blood. I mean, it works. When I've used it, it definitely moves me. It moves my work. It moves my goals, and it sweetens or it does add to the relationship that I have with a power. I don't get them hooked on it, but they do get something out of it. It's a win-win for me as the human and for them as the power. If it's done consensually and if it's done my version of ethically. Blood sacrifices are empowering. I don't think they have to be negative. I don't think they have to be about enduring pain or causing pain to something else. And by the way, the buffalo that was sacrificed at that Nepali ceremony, it died quickly. It died with I don't want to get graphic, but they do a thing where they slit the throat very, very quickly. So it's gone before it knows it. It did not die a painful death. Anyways, there's so much room for creativity when it comes to a blood sacrifice or a a sacrifice, whatever. Consider rewriting the hymn Nothing But the Blood. And instead of being about Jesus, you put something else that you love or care about a lot into that song. You create a love song or a praise song about whatever this thing is that you love. The focus might be on the thing you love, but what you offer or you give to a power is the feeling of joy and elation, that sincere sweetness. Was it that dopamine or serotonin hit when you sing that song? That is what the power, delicately smells. It becomes like a smell of rose or lavender to its nose, or whatever smell that it tends to like. You see that? You see how creative that is? It just like makes me so happy. And lastly, blood sacrifices are humanity in full circle. We're always going to go through pain, pleasure, and praise. That's life. That's death. Even if the world were perfect, as in there is no perfect world, people will die, animals will live, we will care about something, we will hate something, we will eat, we will go to sleep, we will wake up. We're going to experience emotions. In a way, maybe that's what the powers and gods want. They want those senses, the fact that we can go through so many different, a full pantheon, if you will, of feeling. Maybe it's a good thing that demons and gods and powers accept any of those three P's. Humans, we're the ones who define moral and ethical value to blood or emotion that's being delivered or offered. We're the ones who have more control over the world we literally and materially live in. The gods and demons, they're tools, even for us to use, even if they're just using us too. But, what do you think? What comes to your mind? I'll give you a few final questions. Just two. Pain, pleasure, or praise? Pick your poison. Pick your poison. If you had to do, or if you already do, sacrifices, what type would you do? And have blood sacrifices been a part of your individual cultural community upbringing or life now? What types? Pain, pleasure, or praise? Do you see them as positive or negative? If they're negative, how can you turn that into a positive based on the type of faith that you want to follow and how you're trying to create meaning in the world? So that's it. That's all I have to say. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening. And I am toodalooing along. So bye bye and take care.